You're watching The Fix with me, Karima Brown. I'm in conversation with Professor Adam Habib and economist Duma Kubule. Professor Habib, we are, of course, far behind when it comes to basic things such as, job creation, housing, a whole range of things. But the most pressing thing, of course, is COVID-19. We spoke with Professor Abdul Karim earlier. There is a very real fear that the second surge is out of control. He spoke about many fires, going up, and it's not just little flames that we have to kind of put out. When we look at just the leadership around getting a vaccine, for example, what do you make of the government's efforts to date, considering that we have people like Professor Helen Rees, Glenda Gray, Professor Abdul Karim, Professor Mahdi? We have some of the world's greatest scientists here in South Africa. Have we made the most of it?
We haven't. And so, for instance, one of the first things that I would have done right at the beginning of the pandemic is actually move. We knew that vaccine production is something we don't have going. We knew that there was a whole set of research. We had these clinical trials with Shabir Mahdi, Helen Rees, etc. We should have demanded and sent our envoys out there to purchase supplies or to create productive capacity in South Africa or to start getting the private sector to do that. We moved on it. We moved on it under pressure, 6 months too late in perhaps August, September. We could have moved in April, May. That's a sign that our leadership was sleeping and our institutions are not working. The second thing, which Duma touched on and I want to put on the table. You see, I think we need everybody around under the economic tent. Everybody has to start talking about the compromises. But what we should be demanding of everybody is you have to take the bigger picture. You can't look at your sectoral analysis. You have to say there's trade-offs required, and no pact gets developed without leadership, without you telling all of the stakeholders, this is what is required, here's where we're going, and that's not happening.
Okay, so if we're saying leadership is key to that process, is Tito Mboweni the best leader in the finance ministry as it stands? I mean, this is a man that flatly refuses to be subjected to questions. When he was asked questions at the budget, he said some of it is too technical. He's not there to answer those questions. I can't remember when last we've actually been able to interact with the Minister of Finance and ask him some very, very tough questions. How much of Tito Mboweni's leadership style, Duma, is responsible for the fact that we are not able to get people who differ with each other into the same room so that we can plot a path?
You know, Karima, I've been following throughout the crisis what's happening at Treasury, and it's actually quite sad because the positions they've taken are so extreme. The way I explain it to people is that it's more extreme than what Bolsonaro did. It's more extreme than what Boris Johnson is doing and what Trump is doing on the economic policy. But they've never come out to account to South Africans why they're taking those extreme positions. For example, they believe that, no, if we spend R1 billion into the economy, it won't have any impact on the economy. Now, nobody in their right mind would say something like that. And I do think that the central bank governor as well, he must be accountable. I was at one of your WITS webinars where he did go out and he did put forward his positions, but we haven't seen it we disagreed with what the central bank governor is saying, but I haven't seen it from Treasury. It is a nightmare to engage with them. I've been trying to engage with them on the issue of the public sector wage bill. It is a complete nightmare. And I just have to say about what Adam was saying about the need for capacity in terms of the COVID response. The most successful responses anywhere in the world were in East Asia, in Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and so forth. And it was based on effective state capacity to contain the virus, and that is what's happened. And there have been no second waves in those countries. You have had flames, as Professor Karim was saying. Each time a flame comes up, they extinguish it here.
Okay, we've got a minute to wrap, Adam. We can't go out of 2020 on The Fix, this is our final show for the year, without reflecting on the impact of fake news and disinformation. It's played itself out in America with huge tragic consequences. It's beginning to take root in South Africa. What has been the most disturbing thing for you about fake news in 2020?
Well, I'm really, really worried about the fake news around vaccines, the fake news around, we're seeing the similar kind of right-wing behavior and the kind of skepticism. And frankly, we can't allow it to root. I know that at the height of the state, there's some recognition that needs to be challenged. But the way you manage fake news is with leadership again. And if you don't take it on, it begins to spin out of hand. That's the thing that I think we need to do. I want to say one final thing. We have a very polarized economic conversation in South Africa. Populists on the one hand, conservatives on the other. We need a far more nuanced conversation in this country.
All right, gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to wish you a fantastic Christmas and a New Year. Adam, good luck on your journey in England. Duma, I'm sure we're going to see you here lots of times, of course. This is the fix for 2020. You've had your fix before the year. Join me again next year on January 10th. Thank you so much for watching.